All right, cyber traders, welcome on back. Continuing along and closing out our week this Friday afternoon, September 18th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, guys. Welcome on back here for our afternoon meeting. Let's get a quick sound check to begin. Clear the throat here. Make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear. There we go. Hopefully a lot better there. Great to see all of us. Sharon, Stefan, Chuck, Daniel, Chelsea. Great to see you all. Leda, pleasure as always. Debbie, Mark, John, Kathleen. This birthday edition, I should say, of this afternoon meeting. Not for myself, for Fausto, much like he did for me back September 3rd. Want to give him a quick shout out like we did before. Happy birthday once again to Fausto. But hey, heading into this afternoon, guys, I mean, I know he's off and running, but we ended up seeing Sava squeeze up higher going into the afternoon so far. So I want to do a little copy and paste to begin this afternoon meeting. Not on news on Sava, or at least from this morning to begin. I'll actually copy and paste kind of from, I think it was Monday the 14th, was it? Yeah, to begin this week, we ended up seeing news come out on Sava. You could see on the daily chart a big gap up. It dipped off, then popped up later on. Caseva Sciences announces results of a phase 2B clinical study. More or less, Alzheimer's disease showed statistically significant improvements. All right, cool, nice. That's good to see. I mean, for stocks that make these types of big moves up off of that news, well, we should see them dump back down. That's what we saw Sava do going into midway through this week, pulled back a bit. Well, we ended up seeing more news come out this morning. The news coming out this morning, I'm going to copy and paste again. So right from 6:25 Eastern time, really early. Caseva Sciences trading higher following news of two insiders buying stock Thursday evening for a total of about 225,000 shares. Now, for us here inside the trading room, 225,000, it's not really like a whole lot. We typically see that on a market on open, market on close print. You see on Sava right now, since going into 2:30, this one volume spike alone is like 800,000 shares plus. So, that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but the news of insiders buying it, we ended up seeing a big jump up early in pre-market, ran pretty nicely, of course, after the open. So this was our star of the day once again. I mean, it's pretty interesting to see how far these stocks, come from, basically from where we had first started watching them. We first started watching Sava. This was more, it was on the run up, but this was even back from 2019 or 2018 even here. Yeah, we ended up seeing a huge gap down from there, a huge squeeze up. I mean, we've been all over this stock on and off over the years. So it's interesting to see, even after its most recent big gap down, it popped and filled the gap on the way up. And here we are today, right back to these highs. So heading into the afternoon, let me just adjust my 1 minute chart here, folks. I mean, I love the volume off 10. You just got to make sure 10 holds. 990, I would even go far as 990 to 10 as a major support level heading into this afternoon here. I mean, hopefully, if anything, this ends up just popping right now, running up to 11. But yeah, Sava or Seva, however you may want to phrase it. We're just going to put this on our list to begin here. My pen. Where's my pen? All right, give me a quick second. Might have to type this list out as I go. All right, so let's just do that here. All right, Sava we have on the list to begin, at least for the afternoon. Of course, our star from this morning, though. We ended up doing pretty well otherwise for quadruple witching Fridays, it's known as. A lot of options expirations heading into the end of the day today. So we should see a lot of volatility. I mean, hopefully we have just as active of a close as we had, of an open. So with that, let's check out a couple of stocks alongside Sava that we ended up trading, calling out early on. Neo, not our sharpest move, but on the way down, ended up breaking down pretty nicely. And from there, ended up steadily heading into the afternoon, bouncing off 19. More with the market, it was pulling back, dropped down with the market, pulled down under and over 19. Going into the afternoon, if we happen to see the markets continue to recover, squeeze back up, I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, it looks slow, but I wouldn't be shocked if we see a lot of action on Neo heading into the afternoon, especially given what we've seen over the last 1 to 2 months. Again, heading into options expiration Friday, something like this quadruple witching Friday, rather, fairly seasonal as they call it. So we could see Neo make a stronger push heading into the afternoon. One of our students had called out just before, Jose. WKHS, another EV stock, but this one breaking all-time highs right now, on the way up towards 30. It just made the pop and drop from 30, so perhaps the next test, it might pull back first before it ends up making that second test. But, off 30, if this could re-break over 30, this could be a huge mover as well. WKHS, though, alongside Sava, I'll definitely be more inclined to follow it heading into the afternoon. Jerry here in the chat board says options lottos. Yeah, pretty much. All right, so WKHS, nice pop after the open, trend off the lows on the way up towards 29.50. Got pretty ugly after that, but for right now, looking pretty interesting on the way up towards 30, like we had said. So WKHS, we were looking at play Dave and Buster's. I'd be remiss to not mention this to begin the meeting here. So Dave and Buster's came out with the news, the more or less report from the Wall Street Journal yesterday. Potential bankruptcy if they can't find a lender in time. So huge gap down, dropped off after the market opened yesterday. It dropped off with the market as well. So really good short throughout the entire day yesterday. Now, what came out this morning on play, I always scratch my head at this. I don't really like pull my hair out and think about it in the moment. It's more kind of just before the market opens or, after the market closes, kind of studying the move after perhaps. But we ended up seeing news come out really early, like again, 6:30 in the morning. Raymond James upgrades Dave and Buster's enter to outperform, announces $20 price target. So I just find that oddly coincidental to be right after it drops down like 20% and comes off that news report, so to say, from the Wall Street Journal. So, that's the news on play. We ended up seeing this make a nice jump up in pre-market, but more so broke out after the open. The opening bell print on this trade, I want to jump to because we'll put this on our list. If my line's up here on my other screen. The opening bell print from this morning was right off 1569. From there, it ended up holding beautifully. Just after the open, that is, at least, ended up pulling back under and over. A few pops from that level, pushing up nicely from there right now. And alongside that, let me just take a quick look here. Oh, that's right. Yeah. David A was calling this out in the chat board just before. 1643, right? We were saying 1643 was the opening bell print from yesterday on play. So with that, a lot of volume filled, and from there 1650 major R also. So yeah, a couple of levels to watch out on this trade heading into the afternoon. Just again with quadruple witching Friday, I don't mind just putting this on our list here as well. I forgot that I'm jumping to this from the computer here. There we go. All right. So with that in mind, actually, what we'll do is just, as tradition, just go from top to bottom. Anything else, guys, just let me know. Otherwise, if it's not up or down a whole lot, that looks good. A few stocks continuing to break all-time highs today. So we'll get to those too. Sava, we went over. PICW, warrants, we'll kind of jump over those. We'll just look at the regular symbol here, I guess. But for right now, WPRT looks like it has some second legs to break higher heading into the close, pushing back up towards them right now. It just has a lot of volume to fill in the order book. That's my only gripe on this trade. I mean, it's a nice level 1 to 2 stock in terms of volatility. So for any of our newly enrolled students, new trial members looking to get some skin in the game here, it's not a bad stock. It was pretty quick early on, but settled down pretty fast after. Spreads are tight. Again, just has a lot to break through, so I wouldn't expect a whole lot. It looks like at most this thing has a 53,000, 54,000 share order on the ask at 240. So high of the day, 242. Big resistance once again. Big R on the ask at 240. All right, cool. So at least for right now, we'll put this on our list. Let's see. SOL Soul. Familiar name from yesterday. Made a nice pop. Kind of slow. Volume stinks right now. ARTW spotty chart, at least up until late morning, popped and near the highs. Same thing though. That's where I still say, hey, it's Friday afternoon. We're not expecting much on a Friday normally. So, when we talk about Quad Friday and whatnot, just that's more kind of not specific only to the super name brand stocks or the NASDAQ 100s, but it certainly doesn't apply to the small cap stocks, any of the super low float stocks. That's my rule of thumb on it. This BE Bloom Energy, very active today. We missed the run up, not one of the ones we called out from this morning, but fantastic move. 1450 all the way up towards just about 17, broke higher heading into the late parts of the morning, whereas the markets fell off. This held strong. So for right now, it's making a lower high, pulling back a bit right now, shortable. The craps out totally the other way. At least it would be a really good short from here. And, otherwise, again, if it holds and breaks higher heading into the close, this could be a continued move. So right where we want it here still, Bloom. Mark, M-A-R-K, second day in a row where we're seeing this make a little afternoon run. It didn't really do too much for us yesterday. We kind of skipped over this in the afternoon. So for right now, there's more volume being traded on it here off the pop, but same thing. Stock's been a huge tease for us in the past. All right, skip over all these here. Dave and Buster's play. I mean, again, it's on our list, so looking great, right near the highs. Shortable, same thing just before, alongside Bloom, BE. Everybody's favorite, Kodak, breaking out. All right. So yesterday we were kind of putting this on our list for those that could trade it. Same thing will happen here today, guys. For those that could trade it, trade it. For those that know that they can't, if their broker restricts them, don't even think about worrying about it. It's just a waste of your time. You know that you can't trade it, so it doesn't make sense to just keep complaining about it. I say that because it doesn't just fill up chat here inside our trading room. It's a matter of you missing other opportunities that you actually can trade. Seva, WKHS, Play. We have a hot list so far, guys, and there's plenty more to go. So, Kodak, for those that could trade it, it looks really good. Otherwise, see what else is out there. Now, in terms of this trade, I want to jump to for those that can trade it. Yeah, let's do a little analysis. You would say 50-cent levels, whole numbers off the breakout from 12 and 11.90. It looks like it was pent up underneath 12 for a little bit. At the open, nice pop up to 12, pulled back, held underneath likely like 1180-ish here, broke out from there from the chart, but really off the break from 12, this started to push higher. So hey, the higher this goes, the faster it goes, it's going to get halted. So right now it's not going to just yet, but the more it pushes up at this pace, the better chance it will. There's a pullback, saves us some time on the halt. All right, let's see, guys. Anything else on the gainer side? I'm sure there will be a couple, but go through familiar names. Oh, we skipped over PIC. PEIX, though, familiar stock. This thing's been on a tear once again. From Wednesday of this week, popped, ran up for us going into the afternoon. Looks like yesterday it dumped off, but had a really strong afternoon as well. Kind of lower volume, but kind of recovered. And today, sharper run up, breaking new highs, and here we are today, or at least in the afternoon. Had pulled back down towards 640. Wouldn't be surprised if that was the opening bell print. Moved back up. It's still kind of holding underneath the VWAP, so there's actually a big resistance right now. 682 on the ask, 29,000, 26,000 share order, and then the VWAP at 683. But same thing here. I mean, just very tradable right now. We'll just put this on our list. PEIX. I'll put this on the back burner. If we have a really hot list and there's a lot more else that's looking better than this, I'll scratch this one off. And Chuck pointing out the FLDM trade. I'm sure that one will join here, Chuck, in a moment. Here, let's just go through the others first. PIC. I was unfamiliar with this stock this morning, guys. It was shortable, so it looks like it could have been a good short after the market open. And broke down under 12, pushed back up, but then ended up making a lower high and dropped lower. So that's where I say that. Yeah, right now, not doing a whole lot. It is shortable. If it remains shortable, this could be interesting for maybe early next week, going mid next week perhaps. Otherwise, if it ends up making lower highs or rather higher lows, pushing back up early, I mean, it still could just be a good stock to keep on the side list. All right. Oh, I skipped over mRNS, another one from this week. Look at this go. Wow. I don't know if this was kind of creeping up on our list here as we were kind of dropping down, but perfect timing. mRNS, this thing's been pushing up beautifully from earlier this week. So while I have Benzinga Pro up here, allow me just to kind of dig back, and I'll do the same here. So the news on mRNS, nothing out today. Where the hell is it here? Let's say the 18th today. Yeah, 15th. So the news that came out on the 15th, that is, or maybe the 14th in the afternoon, mRNS shares trading higher after the company announced, I guess, one of its drugs achieved primary endpoint phase 3 trial. All right, cool. So that's more or less what happened. We ended up seeing a big move up in pre-market, squeezed up a little bit after the open that morning. We're talking about September 15th from this week on mRNS. From there, it pulled back. Really good short. I wouldn't be as hopeful to see this pull back down. It looks really strong right now. If it does, then, hey, this would be a good one to follow, and a shortable stock at least. But, hey, I mean, beautiful trend. We're going to respect the trend up. I think this can creep up a little bit closer towards 380, maybe even 390 by end of the day. All right, so that's kind of what I mean there, guys. If there's a bunch of other stocks that look really good in terms of trend liquidity, of course we'll kind of just refigure our list. Inovio, I feel like this is just done at this point, but you never know. This thing's been popping all from last week going into this week, pulled up and down yesterday, and here we are today. News came out, I think it was once again today on INO, popped from 15 all the way up towards 17, broke over a huge iceberg, 110,000 share order on the ask at 17. I just know that offhand. I was going over that with the trader just before in a coaching session, so we were looking at that just before on a level 4 book map. But yeah, 110,000 share order on the ask at 17, and I bring that up right now too because it does go to show. Once again, strong resistance creates a strong support. I was on a phone call at the time. I had my feet kicked up here on my desk. I was not really prepared to trade. This thing came screaming down to 17. Just what an easy entry this could have been right from the 17 level here to take the bounce up towards just about 1780-ish, 1775. But for right now, though, I mean, it doesn't really look that great. I mean, I love the range, volatility. That's been fine. But for right now, let's see what else is out there. FLDM from Chuck. So, we were calling this out before heading into the meeting. Broke new highs from 770 up towards, over 8. High of the day right now, 844. Looks like there was some volume filled, perhaps whether in consolidation or maybe a smart money print right off 822. That seems to be more from consolidation. Pop here, kind of cutting through that price, perhaps. I'm sure some bigger prints, but yeah, 822. I would assume 8. Oh, that's right. Actually, pardon me. So what we'll do is mention this. So I was going over this with a trader just before in our private in private chat inside our trading room here. So I say this to you guys all the time inside our trading room for all of our students, trial members, the like. If you guys have questions, if you guys have trades that you would want to go over with me, let me know, please. I had a student message me, saying, hey, I'm not really doing too hot today. Wanted me to go over a trade. FLDM, he tried shorting it. All right, well, not a bad idea. It is shortable if it craps out the other way, like I always say. And we see here a lot of times in the afternoons, it could be a great opportunity to short on the way down. But you'd figure the smart money level to be at 8. This gentleman doesn't have book maps. So, with that, I said, hey, look at the TradeStation volume bars on the right-hand side, right? We were just saying 822, right? Well, look at freaking 799. You would figure it's the whole number at 8. Nope. 799. There is a smart money print right here off the pop. I forgot how many shares to be exact, but obviously you could see in relation to all of the other price levels that have been filled, pretty big. So that 799 off this pop, or off this one rather, pardon me, ended up creating big support, ended up breaking below there. Maybe this would have been a good short opportunity, but as soon as it breaks back over that price, knowing that it's a false breakdown here, ends up making the pop, 5 minutes later? Man, right at the meeting here. So yeah, heading into the close, that 799 is going to be a pretty strong support. Great call from Chuck, just as we were kind of going through things beforehand here. But, high of the day, 844. I would assume there to be a big iceberg off 850. Volume's kind of waning down here. But yeah, FLDM definitely going to put this on our list near the top part. So far, like the top of the list is still like the SAVA, the WKHS, the Play. I like all of those. FLDM, though, it's going to kind of be right next to those. No other familiar names that I see here. Genius at the bell here at the bottom. It's kind of creeping up. This would be an interesting play if all goes according to plan. I mean, the worst case scenario is that this stalls out and does nothing. I wouldn't assume for this to dump all the way back down to 102. I wouldn't look to hold this overnight, by the way, as well either. Either way, this breaks. But with Genius, we ended up trading the stock going back into, what was it, like May, June time here? From pretty much where it is now all the way up towards $11. News came out at the time. I think it was like some like children's cartoon network or something. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger was involved. Trust me with that. I don't know how, but that's what I remember. That was the news that came out that led to this squeeze up. Right back down it went, and only lower. I actually have a personal friend of mine. I hope he's not listening in right now. Really, true story. He tried getting into day trading going back into June, and so I'm going to run late. It's fine, but with what happened with the pandemic, a lot of people have more time to follow the markets, whether it being furloughed or whatever. There is the Barstool guy, Dave Portnoy, right, from Penn National Gaming, kind of talking on and off about it. He influenced a lot of traders, a lot of people to start jumping into trading. All right, well, my friend is, 30, 31, younger guy, jumping in with some money, and he didn't really know what he was doing. Just saw him trade some stocks up and down, make a bunch of money. So he came to me, I'm a day trader guy here. So he asked me what to follow. I started giving him some picks here and there, stocks from our list here, of course. Genius, one of them. All right, great. So he ended up jumping in at like $5. It was like pretty much well after this run. Came back down. He got in. It was like probably around here. And he held on. He's still in. He has a lot of shares. I forgot how much, but it's not good. I mean, listen, guys, we don't look to take these day trades overnight. I don't look to hold them overnight. Thankfully, Jerry's saying here in the chat board, friends no more. Not exactly. Thankfully, my friend, he is very smart in the sense of taking responsibility. He didn't blame me for anything, and we're great friends still. So that's fine and dandy. But long story short, lesson learned: you don't turn a day trade into an overnight trade because you never know where it's going to continue to drop down to. So. Genius today. Hopefully my friend, it pushes up much higher. Hopefully for us, it pushes up much higher. I don't mind putting this on our list here. Again, kind of near the bottom. PEIX is like on the back end for right now. We'll kind of put Genius alongside there. All right, let's hop over to the losers list here, guys. See what else we can get. I would love to see Genius run up to maybe like a 150. That would be incredible. All right, GTX. I mean, this is down 23%. CMD, steady trend here, kind of light on the order book, shortable at least, but ooh, interesting. ARWR down 6+%. This one was up. Wow, it's like almost pretty much all the way back down to where it had opened up from. This was up like, what was it, like 30%, 40% back on Wednesday. Pharma news came out. Man, this thing ended up running all the way up. You could see up towards just about 53 plus. Shortable at the time too, right? Actually, if I can, I'll go back on the chart here for us. Man. There we go. Perfect. So for as much as this ran up going into the mid to late morning, it's shortable, right? So it ended up dropping down, it flattened out. So heading into the afternoon here, that's where I would say if it ends up breaking down, could be a good short opportunity. See good continuation. Unfortunately, this day on Wednesday flattened out and dropped off a little bit. But since has only continued to drop. So, this seems to be a pretty active stock heading into the afternoon. Most recently made a bounce from under and over 42 up to 43 right now. The only gripe I have on this trade, I mean, for a more of a level 4 to 5 stock, the order book, it is what it is. It's just that the stock is trading very small volume per minute, like what's actually getting filled on the time and sales. So that I'm not really too particular about. Yeah, for right now, I'll kind of skip over. Normally where I say I sell myself on a trade, putting it on our list, I'm going to sell myself from keeping this from putting on our list. So, at the bottom here, NCLH, we were watching NCLH earlier, breaking new lows, ended up making a nice bounce with the market right around 1:30 Eastern time. Seems to be very active though. Nice drop down from just about 1725, 1730 high of the day, all the way down. Check out RCL, CCL. I guess it's a good time to check out the sideless stocks. RCL is down big. We killed it early in the week on these stocks, guys. The cruise lines, that is. I don't know. I'm kind of keep these on the back burner for right now, I guess. If there's anything else that's looking great here, guys, let me know. Pat's saying I was asking if John. Oh, yeah, no, my friend's still in from 5, I think. Maybe average down. I don't know. So if he did, I don't know what his average price is, but you always set your stops. You always take your vitamins. You always set your stops. That's my motto. From RJF, he says here in the YouTube stream, this has been an incredibly frustrating week. I'm sorry to hear that. I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you. At the end of last week, I felt very out of focus. I didn't realize that until after the fact. I felt pretty clean going into each morning last week. At the end of last week, I was screwing up a little bit. But with that, I ended up studying. I ended up kind of just going through my trades, went through level 3, level 4, kind of studied the charts a bit over the weekend. I was more diligent with taking profits early on this week, just to just land in the plus, right? Land with a profit, and then from there, me personally, I just kind of felt once I got back up on that horse, I kept going. So, perhaps one thing to do, just be more conservative with the profits that you're taking if you're up. Once you end up jumping into a big trade or jumping into a big setup, that is, if you're up that 15, 20 cents, take it and run. Don't try and get that, 30, 40, 50 cent profit, not to necessarily say you're trying to be perfect, but, that's what I ended up doing, ended up getting me back kind of with that confidence back on, with that on that groove again. So, that's just kind of coming from experience. And Chuck here in the chat board says, if you guys have noticed, I've been taking some rest, only trading in the afternoon and just getting his rest. That's it. All right. Well, there you go, Chuck. You got to clear the mind, clear the body. All right. Not to get too hippie on us here. So anything else, guys? Let me know. Up, down, left, right, 10, 5, 10% or more. That's not to say hippie's wrong. Hippie could be right. CUK, let's see here. Cruise line stock. I just wanted to quickly look at. Run a quick scan. That might just about do it. NTN. Yeah, it's a really low float, low volume stock. Some volume coming in here, but it already had popped up and pulled back. This might be the dump back down. From Todd. Todd here in the chat board says TRVN. Right away, I'll look at that stock. Ooh, nice level 1 stock, up 14% right near the highs. I can't not put it on our list, so good call. I mean, how can we not, right? I mean, right where we want it. I would say the same thing, though, Todd, right? With this, just a hell of a lot of volume to break through in the order book on the ask to see it run up. It's like the same thing with Genius. What else did we have? I think it was the same with the MRNS, if I'm not mistaken here. Or maybe it was one of the others, perhaps. But, with seeing a lot of volume on the order book, it's tough to expect to see it, continue to run up, higher and higher or faster and faster. From Terrence Blink, and then Ken, I'm sorry, we'll get to you. PIC running. Blink's just been lack of trend today. It didn't really drop too far down. I just feel like it's kind of just going to dud out. Maybe Monday, Tuesday next week, we'll see it make a new move back up, or maybe then we'll see it tank and then make a new move back up. Already had made a nice pop back from yesterday from 640-ish, 650. So, today it's still kind of making lower highs, but now kind of built off support there from 780. Not a bad call. For right now, squeaking up a little bit here. How about this? You know what? I'm going to leave us off with this. We're not going to put this on the list because for a specific reason. I always say this to our students in coaching sessions here in our Traders Talk workshop inside our trading room here. If you're even unsure about, whether to enter a trade, whether to follow a certain stock, if you're asking that question, you know the answer. So for right now, Terrence, I'm not going to put this on our list. If one of us ends up seeing this, pop break above new resistance, hey, call it out. We'll give it a second look. Maybe by 3:15, 3:30, we'll see more volume come in on this trade. We're fooled by it once early this morning. I just don't want to get fooled by it twice. That's all. From Andrea, he says BILI up or down here at 42.50. Stay tuned. Ken says PIC running. Oh, it's over 12. Yeah, I mean, that's a good call. be more likely as of now to put PIC on our list. It's shortable. So if it's a false breakout, this comes down the other way, Ken. Unfortunately, but it would be a pretty good short opportunity. So, all right, I'll add this, and that might just about close it out, guys. In total, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 packed out, actually. All right, well, I'll tell you, I already just typed the list out to all of us here. So for all of us on YouTube and Facebook Live, I'm just copied and pasted right there. And for all of us here inside the trading room, there you go. And we should just about do it. All right, guys, 3 o'clock right now. I'm going to take a quick break on the audio. I'll hop back on right around 3:15, 3:20 Eastern, and we'll go from there. All right, I'll talk to you all soon.